just wanted to share something with you that is constantly on my mind. Often think about men. And so this message is, in particular, sorry about that, in particular it's for men. And not that it doesn't apply to women, because I think that it does. But there's so many guys that I come into contact with that, send me messages that we interact with and engage with, that I wanted to share something just to help you in your daily life, to help you realize even a part of what your struggle is. And this is what I believe. I was reading a proverb, and it said that a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. And so this is found in the Bible. And whether or not you believe the Bible is totally up to you. But I was thinking about this. If there's something in the design, in God's design, that says, I would define a good man and say that a good man would leave an inheritance for his children's children. Talking about 2 generations deep. Think about this. If there's an expectation upon your life to leave something for 2 generations that would make you a good man, here's the encouraging part. There must be a plan for your life to prosper 2 generations. You must have an idea inside of you. You must have something inside of you that would allow you to be able to prosper for 2 generations. If it's an expectation upon you that to be defined as a good man, you would leave something for 2 generations. Think about it. Now you're living beyond yourself right now. You're thinking and planning as a good man, not only for you, but not only for your children, but for your children's children. So you're beyond yourself, you're beyond your children, you're now to a whole nother generation. That's legacy. So maybe within the depths of a man, maybe this is why men are so frustrated, because they don't realize that inside of them is a natural call, a natural demand to be able to birth something so great that it will last 2 generations. And maybe, depending upon who you engage with and who you interact with on a regular basis, you don't get this kind of demand put on you. But I believe some men do. And if we look into the earth, there are men every day that are leaving inheritance for their generations. And perhaps the demand needs to be put upon one another that we could be great. That there's something great inside of you that goes beyond just your hourly wage, that goes beyond just getting a yearly salary. It goes beyond just your life. It goes beyond your children's life. But to go 2 generations deep, that's a demand. Because now you can't just get to it easily. You can't just kind of just work your way and apply for something that's going to allow you to leave generational wealth. I understand being able to leave wisdom, knowledge, understanding. That's great. But at the same time, what about being able to leave financial resources for multiple generations? Can you accept that in your life? And I know you can accept it because I know for a fact that it's there. You know it's there, but nobody puts a demand on you. So here, between you and I'm putting a demand on you. I'm putting a demand on you to be great. Just in the same way you should put a demand on me to be great. Because as we move into greatness, we open the doorways for other people to be great. And so you look in the world and maybe, perhaps, the world has not seen enough great men. Enough men to say, you know what? What's inside of me, I won't abort what's inside of me for just something that's temporary. I won't abort it for just a temporary game or a temporary fix. Because though men, we cannot birth something naturally out of our bodies as a woman could, we have something inside of us that we can birth out that affects generations of people. You have a natural leadership in you and can birth out of you to impact the world. Your ideas, as crazy as they may seem, they're crazy for this time. They're appointed for this time. You were timed for this moment. The stuff that you think about, it wouldn't have even made it into the world at any other time. It was specifically timed for right now, because while you're thinking what you're thinking, there's somebody else somewhere else thinking something that aligns itself with what your thoughts are. That's why when you watch TV, you're on the internet, you're talking to someone, you hear something and you know it goes with your program. You know it goes with your idea. Because the time is now. This is the moment. This is the moment. You've been timed for this moment. And again, I'm not just talking to men, because it applies for women as well. But I was thinking about it because in the proverb it says, a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. And so, you know, just rehearsing that demand of greatness, that you would be so great that you would release what's inside of you 2 generations deep. So don't abort what's inside of you because people think you're crazy. You know, you think about it. I often think about it with the horses. I'll think about the fact that at one point in time, people rode horses. It was very commonplace. People rode horses every day to go to work, to go pick up supplies. People rode horses. But at some point, there was a man that thought, you know what? There's another way of transportation that we can have. The car comes along. And then somebody else thinks, well, you know what? There's a whole nother way, and then the plane comes along. Then a rocket comes along. There's always a progression that keeps us moving forward. And yet so many of us hold on to what's inside of us, bury our treasure, and never unearth it so that it can be shown to the world. But today, this is what I'm saying, you know what? Push past the convenience. Push past that easy place of burying the treasure to the harder place of discovering the treasure. Because the treasure is inside the earthly vessel. So you're the vessel, the treasure's inside of you. You have to discover the treasure inside of you. And there are generations that are depending upon you. There are children's children. So now when you wake up and you do your business throughout the day, you really don't need to think about yourself. You don't need to think about your children. You need to think about your grandchildren who may not even shown up on the scene. But there's something so great in you that you would be able to leave resource for them.